Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Underhood Show. It's a bright, sunny, no, not really. It's kind of cloudy.
Sunny and 70 day.
Sunny and 70 day at the Kansas State Fairgrounds from Salt City Racing last night, and got to bed. Got a few hours of sleep, but not much.
Just a couple.
Just a couple. It's all you need, right?
Well, for a
For
day
now.
or two.
For a day or two before you can get round down and everything else too. So, hey, thanks for joining us. Yeah, this is the Underhood Show. It's a call-in show about what's ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be. But if you want to talk about last night at Salt City Racing or what's going to happen tonight at Salt City Racing, we got to talk about that. Got a lot of things to talk about what's going to happen here tonight from that part two. But love to hear from you. It's a call-in show, 316-462-3673. And Josh, as always, what's in that package?
So we're going to mail it out to you, but it's going to consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Mel Hamilton Ford. While we're performing that, we're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on your vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related components on it, making sure that it's ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. You'll get yourself $10 to Mel's Diner so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're with us at the big corner. Complete nitrogen for your tires so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a BG products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then 44K for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
So let's get the phones ringing, 316-462-3673. That number comes right in the front desk at Mel Hamilton Ford. Tell the girls you want to get patched in the podcast, and Gus will get you patched in back there on the IT board, making us all look good, right, Josh?
Yeah, very good.
And sound good.
We need
a lot of that. We need a lot of help, don't we? Yeah, so we're sitting here at the Kansas State Fairgrounds, and we had a great night of racing at Salt City Racing here at the Fairgrounds last night. We had a full class of IMCA cars with stock cars, B mods and A mods, and then we had our super stocks.
Yeah.
And then we had our late models, which we're going to have another class of late models tonight, and super stocks again, and then also the Oklahoma Antiquers are coming.
Oklahoma Antiquers.
They're antique cars.
Okay.
But most of these guys, when they take their antique cars, they just kind of cruise around. These guys race them. We don't actually have a heat race or anything else like that, but they get out there and they go. It's not just kind of putting around or hitting hard on the straightaway and kind of coasting the corners. No, we had them here last year, Aaron. That's why we're bringing them back, because it was so much fun to watch those guys get those old cars out there and go.
So, what was it when we had the USAC race over here and they had all the vintage cars up there along the front? Just looking at some of those cars, I'm thinking, of course, you know what you know, and back then that was the thing to have, right? But looking at them in today's world with all the changes and stuff like that, I just could not imagine having to wheel one of those cars around, a track like that.
It took a different talent, I'm telling you.
And, I think of I don't know, just the muscle and the, we got examples
endurance.
of endurance that the drivers have to have in situations like that. And then I think of examples of, I had a couple of crashes out here last night, but like one of those older cars and something like that versus now, the night and day difference in that too. But it was really cool seeing those old cars lined out there. And
so they're going to be here tonight. So anyway, kind of a recap of last night. I kind of started off with a little excitement. We had a late model. I'm not sure what happened to him or whatever, but he was coming off his last lap of qualifying and kind of something broke in that car or what happened, but he actually got right in the front there at the guardrail and took out a few signs and stuff and put the car up into the stage area, which got kind of a little close to some people up there on the stage. But luckily he was all right. Hutch Regional Medical Center was here, checked him all out. Everything was great and stuff like that. I felt sorry for him because he drove all the way from Texas, and that car is kind of junk now, as we kind of call it.
And to do that in qualifying too.
First thing out of the gate. So then we had a couple of other crashes and stuff that got a little exciting. Had William Nusser kind of took a wild ride on going into turn 3 and got his car upside down and stuff like that too. Of course, he's okay, which is the best part. I talked to him a couple times last night. He did come back out in his late model race. But William, glad you're okay. Sorry about your race car. Sorry what happened and everything else too. But then we got through qualifying, got through all the stuff. Then we had kind of another scary crash with Lee Stefan on the back straightaway. He, I think talking to him, because I did talk to him too, I think he just got a little a little loose or whatever, and then tried to overcorrect. And then he said, he said, I stood on it. I probably shouldn't have stood on it to try to, sometimes you stand on it
out of it
to drive it out, and didn't work. And he rolled it over pretty hard, and he was in the car for quite a while before they could get it turned back over because the car was mangled up pretty bad. But We did call EMS to come check him out. Everything checked out fine there with Lee from that part. So, so
it either helps or hurts when you apply more throttle to it, right? You can drive out of it, or
sometimes it does work to put some throttle to it, to spin it around the other way or do something too. But when you're in the heat of the moment and you're that quickest, make that split second decision to either throttle it or brake it or do whatever, and then as we go back and review that, which we will. Then we can criticize, I guess is the word you use, what should have happened. But you know what? We're not the driver. We're not sitting in that seat to make that split-second decision.
Well, I always say, being a part of a situation or something like that, and it's way easier to be the Monday morning quarterback than the that's reviewing the play than it was to be the guy that was making the calls and doing it on demand, for sure.
Sitting in the grandstands, you can say a lot of things about what's going on, but you don't know what happened because you're not the person sitting in that seat, have the hold of that steering wheel and hold of that throttle and that brake and what you got to do too. Yep. But other than that, it was a great night of racing. The late models put on a great show. 20 laps, no cautions, caution free. So had a great racetrack. A lot of people talked to me about that last night too. Loved the racetrack. The stock cars, man, they put on a hell of a show. They had some 2 wide passing. Tanner Tile took he was running second or third, got up to second behind Mike Petersilly, and Mike Petersill's out of Hays, Kansas. He's our points leader. And those two had a great race coming in there and several cautions and stuff. But Tanner Tile went around the high side and passed him and got him.
The crowd went wild.
Yeah, and I was talking to Peter Stuff today. He says, I didn't think he's going to get me anything. I know. I said, I didn't either. But that's the two testament to the track prep guys we had there last night. Of course, the same guys we have every week of how good at the track they're going to do. I looked over the fence already, see if they're there. I'm sure they're at their trucks weren't at the hotel this morning, so I know they are at breakfast. I'm sure getting something to eat and be on this racetrack again and get it prepped for tonight. But they did a great job to be able to have 2 lane passing like that in the stock cars, and Tanner Tile to sit there and hold that thing on the outside and go around. I mean, that gave me chills.
Yeah.
Talked to his dad after the race. He said, I didn't get him. He's going to hold it. He said, I thought he was going to hit the wall. I said, you know what? It scared me too. But it put out some good action and stuff like that too. And the true testament to good sport. Mike Petersilly was very happy for him and stuff too. And not.
Well, when you're beat, right? Like, or when somebody outdrives you or whatever from that side.
So. But them stock cars all year long, they gave us a great car count. They're our best class of cars, amount of cars we have every week. Yeah. So I can't thank all those stock car guys enough for what they do, bringing their cars out here. But that was it was a fun race, and that's the same thing Mike Peter said, but it's just a fun race.
So, that was one thing I was going to ask you is, okay, so you got a couple more races left still potentially. By the end of this deal, how many different classes are going to be able to see? Maybe I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, you're putting me on the spot.
Okay.
I have to go through it. There's probably
we'll come back to that.
There's probably at least 10 different classes that we put out here on the racetrack and from that part too. I tell you what's fun and exciting too is we've got like 3 late models here from Texas, and I had one of the car owners come over to me before the race started last night, and he said, "Hey," he says, "You're Phil, aren't you?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Hey, I just want to thank you for stepping up and taking care of this racetrack because we've raced here many years." I said, it's not just me. I said, it's a whole crew with Nick and Kyler and all the crew from Dodge City and everybody else, the stuff you help us with, Josh and Gus and Alan and everybody. It takes a whole army to make this racetrack run and get everything going from that part. It's not just me. It's a whole crew. But he was very thankful. And that makes it so rewarding after all the hours and all the stuff that we go through to put on this show and keep this racetrack alive here in Hutchinson. So it's fun for that part of it too. But overall, we had a great night of racing. It went a little long due to that first
couple of incidents.
The first late model guy that took out all that stuff. It took us quite a bit to get that back set up safe and put another barrier up there and everything for him. So it took a little bit longer. So I apologize for that part too. But again, hats off to the track crew, Jason and all those guys. They did just a fantastic job of prepping that racetrack. And so I hope we can have another good racetrack. With this cooler temperatures, it's going to be a lot better too. It should be a greater race. You fight that heat during the day of keeping enough water on the right amount of water and stuff, and knowing what the science of knowing how much water to put on it, when to put on it, and everything else to make sure the show starts on time and all that kind of stuff too.
Well, that's a big thing with Kansas as well as the temperature. The temperature can change, the sun load can change, the wind can change. All in a matter of minutes, and where you're at and what to do, and to be able to predict that or judge that the right way is huge, I think, in this for sure.
Hey, it's the call-in show, 316-462-3673. And it's the number at the front desk of the dealership. Tell the girls you want to get past in the podcast. You want to talk about anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries. That's what this show's really about.
Yep.
But it might be about racing today. If you want to talk about what happened here at Salt City last night or what's happening tonight, love to hear from you. And you get that great price package valued over 100. We got to get that fixed too, Josh.
Well,
it's more than $130.
Yeah.
Of everything we get in that package for calling in from that part too. So overall, again, a great race last night. It was fun. It was exciting. From that part, so we're going to kick it off again tonight with another fun show. But I think probably one of the highlights, not the only highlight of the show, is tonight we're going to give away a hot tub.
That's right.
Brandon Barnhart from Donna's Pool and Patio. We've run a contest from the first of the year. This is part of what Brandon Barnhart's giving back to Salt City Racing. We got a hot tub and we've been selling tickets, and also Lisa Hamilton kicked in, and everybody that bought a car got tickets for these last several months. So we finally sold enough tickets. So tonight, we've got 10 finalists. Okay. I'm going to have to call them again. We've called them once. I want to make sure they're going to show up. Make sure we got 10 people that we have drawn. Mike and Logan are our video guys that do all those new. Those guys are fantastic. All these videos and all the stuff they put out here in Salt City, Mel Hamilton Ford, Mel Hamilton Racing, and everything else too. But they did an electronic drawing because there were so many people. Yeah. So many tickets, and we picked our top 10, and we called them up, and they're ready to go. So tonight during intermission, we're going to bring out those 10 people. There's Josh has got the drag car set up, and there's 10 keys.
Yeah, brought it because it makes a lot of noise.
It does, doesn't it?
Want to let everybody in the stands know who won.
I was telling everybody about that hot rod. We've had it for so long, and everybody says, "Why do we keep it?" I said, "It's so fun. It's not
consistent.
It's not lost a burnout contest yet, and I think it's won more drag races than it's lost because it's so consistent." It's just a fun car. So we backed it off the trailer here last night, and everybody's trying to get me to do a burnout and everything else like that. And I knew I was not going to do that on the Kansas State Fairgrounds. Yeah. But my excuse was, hey, the motor's not warm, so I can't do it. So that Mustang's out here. We got 10 keys, and one key is going to start the car, and whoever starts that car is going to walk away with that $12,000 hot tub.
That's awesome. So that going back to that drag car, there's been times in its life where there's been more tread on the side of the car than there was on the car.
Yeah,
it's maybe not like that right now, but yeah, you look up in those fender wells and stuff like that in the rear of that car, and there's a lot of rubber. It's undercoated.
Yeah, it's undercoated. The Hoosier come up with those new tires here a couple years ago, and we took it out in front of the store, and Lisa always rides with me in the front of the store there when we do that, and there's a brand new set of Hoosiers. And I don't know why I did it. I let her eat there for quite a while, but we ruined that brand new set of Hoosiers and went bird out. It's pretty impressive. But that car is just so much fun, and it's really just a stock 302 with a little bit of a tune in it for the open headers and a spool in the back, and of course it's got a little bit of a suspension on it, and a line lock on it. But I don't know. It just sits there at 12-second quarters all day long, and we built that car for that because the tire under the back of it is a 12-inch tire. And that's a class you run, and it's a 12-second. Can't go any faster than 12 seconds. There was times when it was running so good we had to put weight in the back of it. Don't have to do that anymore. I think the motor's getting a little bit tired probably from the part. But anyway, hey, 316-462-3673. Let's get the phones ringing. Love to hear from you this morning. We're going to part. So tonight we've got late models again. It's a brand new show. Last night had nothing to do. Last night was just a fun race too. So we're going to qualify in again tonight. Then we'll have heat races, and then we'll have a feature race for the modifieds, and then we're bringing back the super stocks. And let's talk about that a little bit too. The partnership with 81 Speedway and Humboldt Speedway, Johnny Allen and JR and Katie Sartain from 81 Speedway. Earlier this year, looking at schedules and doing stuff, and JR called me and said, "Hey, I got an idea." I said, "What's that?" He says, "Hey, we kind of had a double booking on our stock cars here earlier in the year." So I'll tell you what I'm going to do is why don't we? He had 1,000 to win super stocks at Humboldt, was supposed to be last night, and 1,000 to win at 81 Speedway tonight. He said, "How about if I cancel that and put that on your 2-day show?" And so he did, and we had a great showing of super stocks that showed up here last night. So it's a great partnership with JR, basically taking those races and moving them over here to Salt City from that part. And so can't thank those guys enough for supporting and being a partnership of keeping racing alive here in Kansas. And I was in the drivers meeting last night, and I started my introduction thanking all the drivers for being here, and that's what I told them. I says, I don't care what sanctioned body you like racing with or whatever, we got to support all racing. The more we support racing, the more we keep dirt track racing alive, no matter which sanctioned body it is. Everybody's got a different flavor or a different idea what they want to race or what they can afford to race or whatever from that part. But we just have to keep dirt track racing alive here in this Midwest. So it's great and fun for that part too. So we got our super stocks again tonight, and then of course the antiquers. I tell you, some of those antiquers I like to get in myself.
Really?
Yeah, I would. I get a lot of flack from not wanting to get in Jake's car.
Well, I'd get in any one of the cars, but no crowd.
Don't want to look what you're going to look like, right?
Get the first one to the corner.
Yeah, first one to the corner, right?
Not through the corner, the first one to the corner.
Yeah. So anyway, tonight will be fun. Thanks Brandon Barnhart and Donna's Pool and Patio for the hot tub. Brandon's going to be here tonight. I think he was here last night too. I didn't get the chance to run into him. Him and his dad will be here tonight, helping giving away that hot tub. Be fun, exciting to see which one's going to fire the car off and who will walk away with that hot tub.
So is there a you pick any class, any car? Which one would you want to jump in if you were going to get in one?
Oh, today I'd love to. If I had to pick one, I'd get in Jake's late model.
Yeah,
no doubt. Talking to Jake about that from driving a modified over all the years and stuff like that. And even though he's going from 425 horsepower to 900, it's in that late model, the big 14-inch tires instead of an 8-inch tire. I mean, some of the geometry and all that kind of stuff. I know the two cars are the same, but the downforce of that late model, the way the body is, and different things. He says that the late model is easier to drive than a modified.
Really?
Yeah, much easier.
And one of the things I would assume, I think it's made him a better driver in his older car with this newer car, just because it sped things up, right? And so now when you get in this other car, I don't know, it becomes more natural, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's a good way to put it. Or
well, I asked him last night because since they went 20 laps, green to checkered. I said, "Were you tired?" He says, "No, I really wasn't." He says, "I'm just out there." I'm pushing the car as hard as I can because, it was black slick, which to me that's dirt track racing was black, so not rubber down, where it's eating up your tires.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. I looked at every tire coming off the top 4 cars coming off the track last night. We didn't need the tire up. Dusty Leonard won the late models, and he was out there just smoking it away. Of course, when you get in the front like that and go, it's just so you're in clean air, you get to go, and track's clean in front of you and everything else too. And I looked at his tires underneath the checkered flag there, and they were great from that part. So I'm excited for that. That's just testimony to the track crew guys of how well they prepped this racetrack and done it up. So, from that part too. Got a little comment there coming in. What's he having to say there?
What's the procedure to get a World of Outlaws sprint car or Kubota high limits race?
I think we may have a call coming in.
Oh, here. They must have just flipped it through. I don't know who it is. They didn't text us. So
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Kyler.
Oh, hey.
How you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm doing all right. How are you guys?
You
thanks
are now live with Under the Hood.
I was talking to Kyler before the show, kind of going over last night, and I said, "Hey, I got to go live." I didn't think about telling you to call in, but I should have said something to you, Kyler. So I'm glad you did. But anyway, you chimed in as we're talking about the track. How the track was last night, and so many of the racers come up and said, "Awesome track last night," and that kind of thing. That's what we were just talking about. I mean, it was black, but I said that's the part of dirt track racing I love is when it's black slick and it's not rubber down where you're eating tires up. And that's about where you called in here. As I was saying that I looked at Dusty Leonard's going 20 laps green and checkered, and he was zinging it out there. He was running 21, 22-second laps. It was about what they were qualifying at. And I'm telling you, his rear tires, you couldn't tell they really were that bad.
No, I'll tell you, the track held up really well, and we tried a few things different this time. Of course, we had some moisture in the racetrack because of Mother Nature, but we packed it, and then we took all that silt, we brought it back down to the bottom, and I felt like, then I put the tires out during hot laps, which I think really helped save the racetrack later on in the night too. Them big racetracks, seems like especially when you do single car qualifying and stuff like that, it kind of makes it one lane dominant on the bottom, and putting those tires out there, as much as I hate putting tires anywhere on a flipping racetrack to cause trouble, they also help. It will help the track because it pushed those guys up there a little bit farther. And hot laps wasn't the best. It was a little slimy, a little more technical in 1 and 2. But I'll tell you what, it paid off. It paid off really well, and moisture came back that we had in the racetrack. And I checked tires out too, and I didn't see tires destroyed last night at all. And it kind of just slicked off and made it fun racing for everybody. Of course, I set up the stands at the control center up in the middle, and everybody was hooting and hollering. It was some great racing. So,
Before you got on the show, Kyle, we were talking about the stock cars with Mike Petersilly and Tanner Tile out there.
What a race.
I tell you, when Tanner went high, I thought, oh no, and even his dad said the same thing. I didn't think he was going to hold it. I thought he was going to hit the wall and stuff, but he held it hard and kept coming around there and kept going. But even Mike Peterson was happy for him. I mean, he said it was a great race. It was fun racing, and that's a true testament to a good sportsman, guys. When you can be excited for somebody else winning and stuff too.
I'll tell you, Tanner drove. The right winner came out. Tanner put some moves on. Mike is such a hard hitter in that stock car division anyway. But the battle that they did, and then when he went high and it stuck, and he drove like a boss. He drove really well, and like I said, he hit his marks, and it was a great show. I feel like the show ran pretty smooth. We had some incidents last night. We had that bad wreck on the front straightaway. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I never got to talk to the driver, but I think something broke, and I've never been so feared when that car hit that front stage area.
Yep.
And my heart dropped. I thought this is going to be terrible. Not just for him, but for the crowd that's standing up there, because wood and debris went everywhere from our sponsor signs and that. But we've had a few things slow the show down, but all in all, 11:30 I think is when we got done, or 11:15 I think.
Yep.
But we had several cars get on their lids last night, racing hard, and it wasn't because of the track being rough. They were just racing hard, and a few incidents, but it was testament to the crew. We got everybody cleaned up and hooked up, and we got a good crew going. And
yep.
I'll tell you, I'm excited for tonight. Of course, it's going to be a little bit quicker tonight, probably because we don't have as many classes to run tonight. But
we're going to we do the qualifying and everything, and then we'll have the hot tub giveaway at the intermission. And these Antigers, I can't wait to get to see those guys race around here too.
No, and like I said, Toby's been excited to put these together. We had them out last year, and these aren't just your typical, and nothing to take away from the Kansas Antique Racers. They serve a purpose. They're showing off racing history. They get out there and they putt around and blah blah blah. But these guys, they don't really care what your car looks like. They're not the prettiest cars out there. They're cool cars. They're not the prettiest show cars. They get out and race them. They make sure they have up-to-date everything in them, and they put them. They're just as fast today as they were back then.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I was telling Josh before we got the show started. Most of the time when the Antiquers come out, they just kind of hit it hard in the straightaway and kind of coast through the corners, and hit. But these guys, last year when we had them here, they were racing. They were getting after it. They didn't just kind of hang out. They were going.
Yeah, I remember last year they were putting the same lap times as the 305s were. So a couple of them. So if that tells you anything, these guys were, some 360 motors and 410 motors, and they're putting the same lap times as some of those 305s that are out there. You know that they're wailing, man. So look forward to Toby and his group tonight. And then just the kids that came out, we had that, we had a dance off during intermission. We had the DJs come out last night and do that deal. And all the DJs were mad at me.
Oh, really? How come?
I set them up there closer to the racetrack, and all their equipment got dirty. They weren't used to dirt track race. They had a blast. They loved that the kids got out there and danced, and Casey Joe does a great job kind of ramrodding that deal for the kids. And it's so cool. And I've told several people this. I wish Dodge City, I could do something out in front of our grandstands like we do at Hutch.
Yeah.
Because it makes it an event. It's I just don't have the area like no track in Kansas does besides Hutch. It just makes it a fun area everybody to get out there and meet, And then we had vendors set up. People were going around getting. Of course, it kind of seemed like a fair, everybody going around getting stuff, and the marketing partners that were out there. That went over really well.
Yeah, it was a great night for the kids. And you're right, can't thank Casey Joe enough for everything she does to help ramrod that for us. Hutch Regional Medical Center stepped on board with us, and they bought every kid a free ticket last night, 12 kids, 12 and under, which was very cool. They had the ambulance up there in the midway there to show off for the kids. And I looked over there at one time and seen the lights all flash and stuff. So, yeah, I remember when I was a kid, that was a bit cool thing to get into and see what's going on. So, can't thank Hutch Regional Medical for all that help, too.
No, and then they ramrodded. So, Kelby, my son, drove the pace truck last night, and they alternated kids in the pace truck. And we had kids up there throwing the green flag to start the race. And Kelby said those kids that were in the pace truck with him, they had the time of their life. It was a lot of fun. He said that's a memory he'll always remember. He said he forgot what it was like to be a kid like that and enjoy racing. He said he just see the excitement in their eyes.
Yeah.
And so those are building memories for those kids, and that's what we need. We need to grow our sport. Like you mentioned at the drivers' meeting, you gotta, no matter what station body it is, we gotta keep dirt track racing going live here in Kansas, and it takes an army to do what we do. And it's everybody from our marketing partners to the kids that are growing up to want to be racers, to the racers showing the respect. The next thing you got to understand is, with all these kids and all these eyes, these racers have to show the respect, because there is always somebody
watching,
and watching always.
Yep. Somebody always watching.
There was a lot of kids last night, and I seeing the flags fly. There was kids in the stands that were wanting to be flagmen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love that, and they sit behind the flagman and they do exactly what the flagman does. You got other kids that are probably dreaming about being race car drivers. And I love it. I love it. It's fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a good time.
You get to see all that sitting behind the crowd.
Yeah, and Kyle, you touched on it again. I'm going to touch on it again too. It's about supporting dirt track racing. I don't care if you're IMCA, if you're USRA, your USMTS, your USAC, your UMP, whatever it might be, dirt track racing in life. If you love the sport and you want to go out and be talk negative against another sanctioned body or another racer or whatever, all you're doing is killing a sport that you love. And you got to stop it. I mean, you got to be positive. Everything's got to be positive about this sport. And the more positive we can be about everybody's sanctioned body and supporting it, it's just like the support that I had. Like we talked earlier about 81 Speedway and Humboldt, how we're working so well with them. And then, I had the USAC race, Chuck up at Salina. He closed his racetrack so the racers could come down here and race and also see those USAC cars run. That's the partnership we have. And of course, we can't talk enough about our partnership with Dodge City, how well we work there. And Kyler, it's just like last weekend when we came out with a modified and raced out there, and everybody said, "Why don't you just go to Salina? It's so much closer." I said, "You know what? I'm supporting Kyler. Kyler supports me so well and stuff like that." And for my part, that's what has to happen. We got to support each other.
And I appreciate that. And the next thing, we always call them keyboard warriors, and there's always those folks that are out there, trying to bash, whether it's 81 or Dodge or Salina or whatever for things that we do. I wish the people would kind of police themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wish more folks, jump up and stick up for these racetracks and stuff that are trying their best. I mean, a lot of these guys ain't going out there making a lot of money. There's not a lot of money to be made unless you're on a professional level. But these guys that are out busting their butt in stock cars or late models, they're not making a lot of money. The crew, a lot of the crews volunteer, whether it's on a race car or even at the racetrack.
Yeah.
And then if they are getting paid, it's usually to reimburse expenses.
Yep.
So they're not making anything. It just.
No, it's a love of the sport. It's a passion. It's a love of the sport and a love of fun. And the more we can keep racing, the more we can. That was a whole idea behind saving this racetrack here at Hutch, was to keep another racetrack alive and not tear one out, tear it up, and see it into something else from that part. I mean, we have a sport that we love, and we have to support it the right way.
Yep.
You take an NFL player out there, if he gets a little bit, something happens, guess what? He gets suspended, he gets fined, everything else because of doing the negative stuff. It happens in NASCAR too. Guys have lost their rides and stuff for being out there and doing the wrong things and not supporting the support the way it needs to be. For that part. So everybody's got to remember that we're out here. The hours, that your crew puts in, my crew puts in to keep these racetracks alive. If anybody knew in the backside of all the hours, all the stuff and everything that's going on, to put a race on them, to go give you somewhere to race that you love to do, you have no idea until you step your shoes into it.
That's the thing. We were there Wednesday. We started at 6 o'clock on the racetrack. When you got done with the race show, the show on Wednesday, and Kelby and I worked that racetrack till dark. And then we got up. We did some homeschooling at the motel till noon, and we went back and worked it till 7, 8 o'clock that Thursday night. And then my guys got here at 10 o'clock yesterday morning. They started watering, and they didn't get off that racetrack until the races were over last night. And they went and ate breakfast early this morning because they're already on the racetrack getting the track ready for tonight.
I just seen them roll in, Kyler. I seen their dually roll around the corner here, so I'm sure they're getting prepped and ready to get it on and get going. So it's cloudy out here right now today, so it's gonna be a little bit easier on them, I think, instead of fighting that sun like we fought yesterday.
Well, I hope it's easier on me because I was hot, and I'll tell you what. I got up in the grandstand last night, and I looked over at my announcer. We were sitting next to, and I am just sweating bullets. And I look over, and he's sweating bullets. The wind quit, and it got hot for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, the kind of breeze kind of picked back up, and it was beautiful under the grandstand. And I'll tell you what, it was just a great night of racing. It really was.
Yeah, well, so excited for tonight, and kind of recap again what's going to happen tonight. We got our late models coming back again for a second night, but now tonight, instead of $1,500 to win, it's $3,000 to win. So tonight's the night to get more excited for the late models. And then, of course, we got the super stocks courtesy of 81 Speedway in Humboldt again tonight for another $1,000 to win with those guys. And those guys put on a great show last night, too.
Yeah, they always do. Well, guys, I got my crew calling me. We're going to get a game plan here again.
All right, get a game plan, and let's go have another fun night of racing, Kyler. Thanks for everything, buddy.
There you go. Thanks, guys.
Bye. All right. So anyway, and then we got the Kansas Antiquers again, not again, but tonight. And then, of course, the hot tub giveaway courtesy of Donna's Pool and Patio of Brandon Barnhart. Going to be exciting to see which person walks away with a $12,000 hot tub.
Yeah, that'll be very exciting for sure. So got a couple of comments on the chat here. So, question from Jeff says more late models tonight, which I think you just kind of went through that. Rex says Phil's got his job back. So Rex made a couple of comments a couple of days while you were gone on the radio show there. So he's being funny.
Yeah, he's being funny. Rex, it's not that I don't want to be on this show. There's always something going on.
Yeah, understand that. And Ryan says, good morning. So good morning, Ryan. Tyler Sampson says, good morning, Salt City. We are on our way for racing. So very good. Excited to see you. And then James says, love the dirt track racing. Plan on coming for first time tonight to Hutch. So
there you go.
Excited to.
I say that to everybody. We were talking to the Paige, the new HR person at Lowen, because tonight is Lowen night. It's their VIP night. They're bringing over 100 people out here for the VIP courtesy food coming again from Pizza Ranch. And again, can't thank Pizza Ranch enough for everything on that part. And of course, Egbert Liquor for providing a little liquid refreshments for them down there. So Lowen night, they're going to bring a lot of people out for them tonight. And of course, as we go through all the sponsors and that help us, and Rand, this is the Under Hood show. We don't start off all of our sponsors, but Murphy Tractor and Equipment, Dan and Curtis, those guys are fantastic. Work there at Murphy Tractor and Equipment, Superior Boiler, Woodwork Manufacturing, Hutch Recovery Towing. I mean, I just rattle all of them off that's out there. Those signs and stuff. But we lost a few last night, which is kind of terrible. I hate for that, but there's no way we can get those replaced. But we'll get with Lowen and of course, we got to take a few of those down to get the stage put up for the Kansas State Fairgrounds when the fair's coming through here in a couple of weeks. So we'll kind of help us a little bit not to take everything, I guess. But we'll get with Lowen to get some more signs made up and get that redone for our next race in September 19th from that part too. But again, all those sponsors that are helping us keep this racetrack alive and keep it going. The excitement level that from this community has been awesome. When Nick and I come over here to sell the partnerships and stuff, it's just really great what everybody wants to be a part of it, which is fantastic. So, but anyway, again, tonight is Lowen night. Great partnership with them. Of course, they have their pace truck running around every race. and they did all the banners and everything else for us too. So it's their VIP night from that part too. So, so what else have I left off, Josh?
From the race side of things, so after this race, what's left for the Salt City track?
Salt City, we got September 19th will be our final championship night of IMCA classes. And then October 10th and 11th is going to be our 2-day show with the ASCS 360 sprint cars. We had them here in May. They put on a great show. And I forgot because I hadn't watched the 360 show for quite a while, or a 410 show. The 305s put on a great show, don't get me wrong. But when those 360s fire off, it's a whole different shrill, a whole different feel for those cars. So if you're going to see some great sprint car racing, those ASCS guys are going to put on a great show Tuesdays, October 10th and 11th. Going to be really cool and stuff too. Again, scheduled for 2026. We're already working on it. Already talking to some other sanctioned bodies. Oh, we didn't answer Jared's question.
Yeah, so I was going to go back to that deal, and my response to that was, I'll let you do the other one, but my response was dollar signs. And
it
so,
is
like
dollar
a
signs.
Sponsor like Tipton Service Center,
yes,
I think that's called putting your money where your mouth is.
I
right?
think that's exactly right. I think Tipton Service needs to step up and put up that deal.
So you can answer that how you want to, but that would be my response.
It is a different dollar value to bring those guys into town, and yes, we are talking to all of them. And it's not the matter of whether it can come or won't come or whatever. It's a matter of scheduling. It's a matter of putting things together. But it is a huge dollar amount to get those racers here for the sanctioning fee and the purse fee and all that kind of stuff. And we got to fill these grandstands. And of course, we've got the best opportunity in the world for the amount of people we can seat in these grandstands. But we are talking the high limits. We are talking the World Outlaws. We are talking all those. Got phone calls and everybody. Got different people talking to different things. And just trying to coordinate that all, put that together, whether we can put that into 2026. I hope so. Working really hard with USAC, too. Again, what we're going to do in 2026, been some changes with USAC and stuff like that, too. So we'll see what all we can work out and stuff, too. Talked about a monster truck show also. So we'll see. There's a lot of different things we got working and a lot of things we're talking about in the background, and that's what I'm trying to tell you, everybody. To keep this track alive in Hutchinson, you have no idea what it takes in the backside of this thing to keep this thing alive and keep everything moving as best as we can and stuff, too. So best thing is right now, everybody, it's time to get ready for tonight. It's super late models on the big half mile, and super stocks. Again, those guys put on a great show last night, so I think they're ready to go again for night 2. Kenny Sweet pulled off a big victory there last night. It was cool for him. And then we got the Antiquers going to be out here tonight. And then, of course, the hot tub giveaway courtesy of Donna's Coop Pool and Patio. It'll be fun, too.
Very
ready to go
so.
on that deal, Josh?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to go through it one more time this morning. And, we did that hospice giveaway the other night. What was a week ago or something over here?
1861 Club,
the
yeah.
1861 Club. And, it's a lot of fun to do those events. And as the guy for the hype of the event, you really don't want the first guy starting it, but the guy that's cutting the key, you really don't want the last key starting it either, because there's a lot of nervousness
going on. Did we screw up?
Did
Did we miss something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And then I just think, man, something goes wrong in front of a crowd like that, and that's just not the image that I want to portray by any means. So yeah, we'll go through it another time, make sure everything's good to go and ready to go for that deal for sure.
Yeah. So everybody, get your friend, get your neighbor, everybody who you can think of out here tonight to the Kansas State Fairgrounds. Charlie and the gang for the concession stand put on a great concession stand for you. They got the waddle wagon out there. They had some blue drink out. I can't remember what they called it now out there. They were serving last night, but they were out handing out Prime Hydration last night too, free of charge.
Hydration.
Yes.
Really?
So Carrie was running around with those. I had one of those, but not too bad. Fortunately, when you're sweating like you're sweating out here,
you need some Prime Hydration.
You need some Prime Hydration. So can't thank Charlie and Carrie and the whole crew of the concession stand does a great job keeping us hydrated and also keeping us fed while you're here at the races. So everybody, get your friends. Let's go. Let's have some big fun tonight. Again, late models, super stocks, and then Oklahoma Antiquers, and then we'll have the hot tub giveaway at intermission. It'll be fun, exciting to see who wins that hot tub. So
very, very cool.
Anyway, Josh, it's supposed to be the Under Hood show, but it turned into the Salt City show. But hey, it is what it is, too, right?
Yeah, that's it's okay there.
So I think it's time. I got a lot of stuff to do today.
Got a lot of things to check off on the list.
Yeah, so. I do. So everybody, hey, it was a great night last night. Let's Gus, any more comments on the chat line we missed or anything?
Let's see. Oh, so Tyler Sampson says, did you say Kansas Vintage? It's not them. It's a bunch of Vintage super modified racing.
Yeah, the guys are out of Oklahoma Antiquers, I think is what they call them. So
yeah, is what they are there. So yeah, I think he got that corrected.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody. Thanks again to all the racers, fans, and everybody that came out last night at Salt City Racing. It's going to be a great night for night number 2. Just can't wait to see who wins the late model race, who wins the super stock race, and then watch these Oklahoma Antiquers cruise over hot rods around the track and from that part. So everybody, get your friend, get your neighbor, get your cousin, get your aunts, uncles, everybody. Let's get out here to the fairgrounds tonight and have a great show. Weather's going to be beautiful. It's going to be hot and sweating this bad. Be fun to get signed and see what goes on. So everybody, come out to the Kansas State Fairgrounds and watch some great Salt City racing here tonight. Kicks off. I'd be in the stands at 6 o'clock if it was me. Everybody have a great night. Great out here at Salt City. We'll talk to you Wednesday night for an update at 5:30, and then we'll talk to you again next Saturday morning at 9 o'clock for the end of the show. Very good.